Good afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you are all well. Sorry for not streaming for a little while. I think last Wednesday was the last time I streamed, and to be honest, I wasn't feeling great. And I thought it was like just months of work and stress getting the better of me. I just needed a wee break. But anyway, so I wasn't feeling great. Went up to the doctor and found out I had a kidney infection. So anyway, I was pretty miserable last week, to be honest, but I seem to be getting a little bit better, letting the drugs flow through me, the antibiotics go through me, and get out the infection. So back now. I'm not 100% yet, but it's the first time I've looked at the charts since that Wednesday, actually. Anyway, back at it now, back at it. Also, before I get into it, we have today officially upgraded our platform. So this is actually the first announcement. I've just got the word this morning. I'm going to give away, for everybody who signs up in the first week, 3 free, or if everybody signs up in the first week and decides to stay, I'm going to give away 3 free one-on-one sessions, mentoring sessions to hopefully help you in any part of your trading that you're going. So if you're interested in that, again, it's always 7 days. We've upgraded it. I generally think with the investment spent on it, it's one of the best platforms in the industry. Like, I generally think that with the amount of money spent. And if you want to check it out, 7 days free. The link is down below. Anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, Rohan, how you doing, mate? Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. Thanks, mate. Okay, SPX. So SPX, now the last few days have obviously been risk off, right? We've broken through this daily anchor here. However, we've not broken through the swing. So technically, we are still in an uptrend. Now, we're at an interesting point. You can see there a very simple trend line. We're at a pretty interesting point here. So we'll see what the market does around this area. We're getting a slight reaction here on the 4-hour chart. You know, it could be a pullback. It could not be a pullback. We could change direction. They haven't got confirmation yet. We're in this stage now. The bias on these smaller time frames is obviously to the downside. Risk off is in play. I've just realized I've forgotten to change the top and bottom bit. It should be risk off there because it is risk off. But I'll be interested to see what this SPX does. It does look like a pullback here on the smaller time frames. So bias in that regard has got to be to the downside. I mean, below the 200, below the 20 now, and we're on a downtrend. I'm just interested to see what happens here. So it is risk off. I mean, good man, Ian. Good man. It is risk off, but I want to see a little bit more to see if we do get that reaction. Now, the dollar, I won't be along today, guys. Like I said, I'm still recovering. I'll try and get through it, but there is a few nice setups. The dollar's interesting. So I was saying this morning when I was doing my stream on the website that I potentially was looking at potential dollar bullishness. However, this daily chart, if we just do that, it looks like a corrective. On the 4-hour, it didn't look too bad on account of this potential head and shoulders, potential larger pressure into that area. But we're kind of falling off now around that 200. So it's still in we've still got to wait for that confirmation on the dollar. Now, if we break out close down here, then we could be into that continuation shorts on that dollar. And it would look quite good to the downside. So if we do get that break and close, then, yeah, you could look at potential dollar bearishness, potentially down to that area again. You know, I did think there is 2 scenarios here where it could be a larger kind of cut with handle. That could still be in play, but at the moment it looks quite bearish on London Open. So wait for that confirmation and wait for that break and close below to determine your dollar strength. You know, if we do get that, you know, reaction off the SPX with that dollar acting as that safe haven, that flight to cash, which is why it's been relatively strong the last few days, we'll have to wait and see. But from a technical aspect, you've got to wait for that confirmation, I think. Referring to the special offer. All right. Yeah, good, mate. I appreciate that. I'll see you in there if you sign up. Okay, setups today. So a few things. AUDCAD is the first one. AUSDCAD looks okay as a counter trend trade on these smaller time frames. We've got a decent basing structure here going out with that corrective phase, isn't it? So it looks more like a potential accumulation to move this to the upside rather than a corrective to move it to the downside. Now, that doesn't mean it can't go to the downside. However, this looks okay. We've got our V reversal, big volatility contraction in here. So we're waiting for that breakout retest to go to the upside. But we have this 200 that is in the way of our trade. So we have to be aware that if we don't get one-to-one and this moves down, then we can't take that trade. But it looks okay. You know, the only issue is it does look a bit bearish on higher time frames, but we'll have to wait for that confirmation. So AUDCAD is potentially there. I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not, I mean, it's not massively exciting, to be honest, than some of the others. EURUSD. EURUSD is another. On this hourly chart or 30-minute chart, we've kind of got our cup with handle structure here. Now, it looks to be that this is going to break out. So looking for a breakout retest here. So this is okay. Right, the 4-hour looks good. If we take this as a corrective, a kind of larger possible AB shallow C, then a breakthrough that B wave is something that I do like to see. We are coming on a daily uptrend. So this EURUSD looks quite nice. So it needs to break properly, and it needs to retest properly for us to go to the upside. The good thing is it's got a little bit of risk reward before our next resistance area. So you've got a bit of gap there, which is good. Alan, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. So EURUSD is on my list for a breakout retest, but it's also on my list for a potential breakout on this daily chart. So the daily looks good. Again, nice little context there. We've got our outside bullish engulfer on that 20 period. Notice how it's kind of hugging this 20 period as we come up. And not only we've got outside bullish engulfer, but we've got it coming on volume. Now, appreciate that, Alan. Thanks, mate. So what I'd like to see here is potentially 1 or 2 accumulation days. Let that 20 catch up a bit more. So our breakout is above that 200 and roughly around that 20 as well. So this looks nice. I think it's maybe, what day are we? We're Wednesday, right? Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe Monday trade this could be. But a breakout above that, which would be above the 200, which would be quite nice. So I do like that. I like that EURUSD to the upside potentially on that daily and on that 30. Pound CAD. Pound CAD is another decent one on this 4-hour as a breakout. So we're getting our kind of triple V reversal or our V reversal followed by a cup with handle, squeezing into this area. Had a slight go at it here. Come off a little bit, but that's okay. Still a decent outside bullish engulfer on volume. So we're looking for, ideally, you'd get something like this to take that breakout to the upside. It looks good on daily. You know, I know we've had a push on, but we've broken through this resistance area here, which is nice. It's not extended. We're going with that trend. Having a little bit of consolidation here, but possible price acceptance for pound CAD potentially moving to the upside. I'm not as worried about these volatility wicks, but that on the 4-hour chart looks nice. And I think if we do get one more reload, it would give me a bit more confidence in it. You know, just a simple squeeze into that area, 4-hour chart. This looks nice. So pound CAD potential to that upside. Pound New Zealand. So see how most of these are going against those commodity currencies. Now we're, you know, heading risk off mode, etc. Pound New Zealand is quite similar. Counter trend. This is counter trend, but this is nice. Again, hugging that 20. We've got a decent gap here between the 200. Like I said, the daily is counter trend. It does look like a corrective. However, that's still okay because we've not got the setup yet. But if we do get a kind of curling price action, completing that cut with handle, let that 20 catch up. This could be a nice counter trend trade. Certainly if the stocks fall off, you'd expect the New Zealand to gain a wee bit of strength. So I'm waiting for that context or that pattern to develop. If it fails, then obviously it fails. That's fine. We don't take the trade. But if we can get something like this, very similar, you know, we've got a lot of room there for a potential decent counter trend trade. So pound New Zealand looks good. Another one potentially for tomorrow, end of the week. But yeah, we have to remember that it is counter trend. So we want to see a nice context before we take anything to, you know, in that direction. China 50. China 50 on this daily chart. Another one that's set up quite well. So we're getting our, you know it already, cup with handle here, looking to push through. Very similar to everything else. You know what I'm looking for a breakout to the downside. So this is still looking good. This is going with the trend, which is what we usually like to do. So I like this. We may get some push up in the smaller time frames, but you know, on this daily chart, we've got our evening star here, simple Dow theory, lower high into this area. So we can't take the break. If it just comes here, obviously we can't take the break. We need something a little bit more to go to the downside on that China 50. And finally, USDCAD. So USDCAD, looking at longs, but I believe that this may have come off now because of the dollar weakness. Oh no, it's still okay. On this daily chart on USDCAD, this again looks quite nice. Getting a V reversal. And a lot of these things are accumulating right now, which is what I like to see. I don't mind if this comes back a bit. So we've got our rejection here, decent hammer, bullish bar, another bullish bar here on that 20. And, you know, this could be loading up prior to a break to the upside, depending on what the US dollar does. If we get a day, so if we get a day that finishes like this, I don't mind that. I quite like that. So it could be a trade for tomorrow. This is a breakout. And the good thing about having that day is a daily anchor. So with an anchor, you usually need two candles either side. So for example, 1 2 1 2 for your kind of anchor down here, or 1 2 1 2, exactly your anchor here. But on the daily chart, you only need one either side. So it creates that anchor, which means we can put our stop under there rather than under there. So the risk reward's a little bit better. So this I like. I'm going to wait for this daily to close and take a look at tomorrow and see what it's like. If stocks fall off, you'd expect New Zealand weakness. Yeah, exactly, Ian. Yeah, you'd expect those commodity currencies to come off. I'm just interested to see what happens at this area because it is a valid trend line. You know, we've had, you know, 1 2 touches here. I don't consider this the first touch. Some people do. So here it's tentative, and here it's certainly valid. So I'm just waiting to see what happens here, because if it does push on, then, you know, New Zealand, Aussie, CAD could strengthen up. If it breaks down, then yeah, you'd expect to see New Zealand come off certainly, and that pound New Zealand might be a nice trade to the upside, you know, as well as USD CAD, because you'd expect USD to potentially rise in value if the stocks do fall off. You know, USD, Swiss yen would be a good play against those commodity currencies if we break below here. But also, this is not exact, right? So these trend lines aren't exact. They can come down and come up like this, kind of what you see here, right? Here and here. So a breaking close is, you know, what you kind of want to look for that continuation of the risk off sentiment. And even saying that, you know, you go down here, you've got another area of support. So this is why counter trend is difficult, because you've got a lot of barriers. But markets do fall quicker than they rise. So yeah, if we get a close below there today or tomorrow, then yeah, you could, you know, continue to play that yen strength, Swiss strength, and US dollar strength against those commodities. And again, if we get a bounce here and push up, then you know, the opposite makes sense as well, buying those commodity currencies potentially, depending on the fluidity of the market. But it doesn't look too bad. You have to say, you know, this fall, okay, I know it's a fall, but it doesn't look as severe as, you know, some of the other ones, right? So yeah, I would just wait. You know, I would just wait on that real confirmation, and I think you get better entries if you do that. But there are a few nice things that I like. I do like a lot of them actually as potential breakouts. EURUSD I like on the daily. USDCAD I like all of them. So yeah, hopefully I get one this week, and you know, have a happy note to end off instead of being stuck in my bed, you know, doing nothing. Anyway, guys, that'll be me for today. Like, I apologize for the short stream. I'm getting there. I think I should be okay on Friday once I have a few more days of antibiotics. But again, yeah, if you're interested in the website and some free one-on-one sessions, links are below. Only valid for this week. And if not, I'll see you all on Friday. Hopefully, I'll be feeling all right. Cheers, guys. Take care. Trade safe.